Okay, hopefully this is working now. Yeah, my game bricked itself when I was trying to change a Fanalab setting, um, and it broke everything. So it's been very frantic trying to get everything set back up. Yeah, it looks like everything is. Thank you, Geeky. That's a little bit annoying because it's eating into quality time. Hopefully there's no more crashes. But yes, welcome along. We're here for round 4 of the 100 series at Imola. I do want to get going. So I do, because, yeah, I didn't get a lot of practice time. And I really struggled in practice, to be honest. And yeah, now I've just lost a good bit of quality time. So yes, we're here at Imola. Try not to lock up the tires. I was really struggling with that in practice. Yeah, we'll try and get these tires up to temperature. Yeah, very frantic start to this quali session. And I haven't done any strategy calculations for the race. So I don't even know how long the race is going to be, what energy usage I'm needing, or energy target, I should say. It's been a mess. But it's just over about 8.25 minutes here. We'll start our first flying lap of the session. How many laps the race will be, or to then find out how long each stint will be, and then how much energy I can use per lap. I seem to be using about 3.2, 3.3, somewhere between there on an average lap. So I need to see if using that much will get us through a 15-minute stint, or if we will need to lift and coast and to get a target number, or to meet a target number. Still getting the tires up to temperature. This first flying lap would be too great. 33.4 does put us P8, not too bad. Definitely on a lot of time. On the table. Not running onto the gravel there. Helping. slow down for Aquaman Rally, but not on good tyre. Very, very difficult. Exit to start this next flying lap, which isn't ideal. The brakes just seem really grabby. Ah, screw you again. I was going to lift on the exit there, but pinged me for the track limits just before I did, or just as I was lifting. The annoying thing is it also invalidated this lap. We do have over a second. We have enough time to get ourselves up into P7, which I would like to do. Really, I'd like to be a little further up the grid. I'd like to put myself P6 onto the third room. We've got 1.5 seconds to get there. Right, calm it down for a moment. That's not a great way to start this lap. Won't be too bad. Yeah, we're gonna have 2 more laps here. Sliding right there. Okay, we've fallen down to P10. But we'll get ourselves up to P7. I just slowed the front left there. Cost me a few tenths. Because we were about a tenth and a half up, now we're 2 tenths down. Car just hesitated. Traction control kicked in. Sell the car. Yeah, that's not pit. That's not a good pit entry. Kind of braked around the bump, but hey, good practice. Nevertheless, right, I need to close that. Oh. I would have liked to have been on the 3rd row, but I'll take P7. I'll take that. So we have 100 times that. 66 laps we're looking at. Oh, yeah, so we're looking... Fuel we're allowed to use per lap is pretty much 3. And we're using 3.2, so lift and coast will be needed. Yeah, because we need to get 33 laps per stint. You can see that we're only going to do 30 and a half on the fuel. So yeah, we will need to lift and coast. Whew.
Teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start.
Whether we change tires or not, I don't know. We'll see during the race. But yeah, main thing is to stay out of any of the carnage. Yeah, keep it clean through the chicanes. It can be a tight bit narrow here at Imola. So yeah, there is a possibility of carnage. We just got to stay out of that. Oh, right. I really do need to sell myself down, so I do. Highest Porsche, yeah. Though the quick drivers in this series are in other cars. So they are. Fourth row on the grid will be on the inside. So ready for the start. I'm not sure why the names over cars are on.
Green flag, green flag.
Oh, come on, Ferrari! That's a bit under. I'm as. Well, wait for the field now. Thankfully, we have very little or no damage from that, but we've lost a lot of time. Have to wait for the yellow to clear. Right, through the GT3 traffic, that wasn't too bad. Yeah, we got held up a bit here at Aqua Minerale, but that was the worst of it. I think this is the Ferrari that took us out, so karma for them. Looks like they have a lot of damage. .11, that's too much. Shadows around, making it a bit difficult to see. Alpine has had issues. Spun off into the gravel. They might be out. be moving again. Okay, we hit the fuel target. But I feel like we could do that while also going a bit quicker. Recovered to the pits. As well. 2.96, that's good. That's a little too much. happen with empty cars, but that's 2 free positions. A little less. Also, decision being made tonight, I can't afford to change tires. Shadows are covering the reference point I like to use for the first chicane, the little slip recovery road. I'm glad that Mustang moved over. Already lapped. Evening, Kevin. Join us in the middle of a recovery drive here. Stupid BMW. has awkward timing, but hey, that's multi-class racing. I don't like the thing of the fuel being so much less. Lock up. Past all the GT3 traffic. I've caught up a little bit to the cars in front. Remember, we're still playing the long game. Not even 20 minutes into the race. Lock up. Oh, that one really hurt the front and left. What? Apparently I have damage, but it's not showing any. The damage EI is somewhat useless. push off. Another free position. Go a little loose there. Not ideal. That's a line. Well, they could be fuel saving. We don't really have any idea if they are or not. Oh yeah, look at all the values in top left actually. You're right. good exit, so we can still fuel save here. I'm curious to see what this lap will be, because of course I couldn't fuel save a couple of times because I was trying to pass, yeah, 3.06. Though that should balance out with a lot of the laps that we've done under the target. That lockup was not ideal. Catching up to the next Porsche as well. BMW last time that couldn't take a racing line. Okay, our fuel's a bit closer to the virtual energy now that I've turned the hybrid map up one. I just locked the rears. Gotta love a good rear lockup. Oh, 20 seconds back from the front Porsche. in through that first chicane despite lifting like 100 meters before the braking zone. Kinda just let that one happen. Oh, the Porsche's behind her again, held up behind the BMW. Done. 16.5 minutes till we pit roughly. Only a 4% energy difference to the cars, two cars in front. They might be fuel saving now. Now that we're getting back into our rhythm again, we're gaining on, pulling away from the Porsches behind. Messy final couple of corners. Still be a personal best. Coming up on GT3s again. I think 5th place is our best. What's the highest we could possibly get today, unless other shenanigans happen. Might have to pit a lap early just because of the fuel, which isn't ideal. I mean, there's a chance the race goes 1 lap shorter than we expect it to. In fact, it might be 2 laps shorter. Just means we get to run flat out towards the end of the race. That's a little bit sketchy, but we made it work. I hope that BMW learns what a racing line is one day. That's a bad line. Porsche, that's a few laps down now. The gaps to cars in front, the two cars in front, have come down. And are coming down, is coming down to the Alpine. Alpine taking a little trip through the gravel there. Easy to defend the inside into T1. Of course, coming into the pits, they're going to have a 52-minute stint. They went 30 laps. They need to go 34 now. mean, the racing line there is kind of whatever you feel like. It's either shortest distance by staying to the left-hand side, or open the corner up by letting the car run to the right-hand side. That is not a safe place to rejoin. Right, into the pits. Just about got slowed down in time there. We'll go full fuel, will not repair any damage. Will not change any tires, we'll take a little bit more fuel than we had the previous stint. Okay, we can use 3.12 if we're going 32 laps. You know, that's a nice relief there. Also, another nice thing, we pretty much got the pit lane all to ourselves. There goes the Porsche that we're chasing down. Seconds. Ideal to lose the time behind the GT3 like that, but we saved energy there. Why does that BMW always just happen to come out of the pits in front of us? Good couple of laps for lap time and trying to catch the car in front. Good thing is we didn't use a lot of energy car in front is doing 35s, I think I can close in a second a lap on it. Of course, that will be traffic influenced. Closing in on me, which is kind of not ideal. I'd rather they buggered off. Exit the final corner. Cost me a good half a second. Lockups. I am getting a little worried about over-conserving. Making it very clear, which I appreciate. And I have that brilliant lockup. Lose myself all the time anyway. Well, leaders in traffic at the moment. So it's not representative of their potential pace. Just set a lock up. They're very late on in the braking zone. Porsche in front's also picked their pace up. And I'm losing a lot of time with mistakes in traffic. It's very frustrating. like that, 3.25. Lock up there, pointed the car towards the grass. .16 that lap. I thought that's the Porsche we were trying to chase down for position. But it's not, it's a lapped car. Slipstream from that Porsche up a little bit. Fuck me, what are you doing? Just park it on the racing line, sure. Yeah, that's not gonna cause a crash. Porsche made a mistake. I think I seen some gravel being kicked up, and I think it was them. Hey, that BMW was on the racing line for once when we passed them. GT3. Fair. Now I'm nearly on the bank for the Porsche. I do want to fuel save a bit. Good. Got the throttle too early, understeered the car wide. Minutes left in the race. Time they lost from that GT3. sketchy. Up. Cranford is doing a good job through the final couple of corners and just opening a gap up there, so I'm not close enough on the start-finish straight. As a complete dive bomb. Wide for them in front. we've been all race down this straight. Except that one time there's a GT3 in the way. Now that's given me proper suspension damage now. Apologies if you can hear the fireworks in the background. Rear end damage 90. Just lock the inside front. big wiggle for the Porsche behind. That gives us some breathing room. Save fuel or not. I think I do need to save a little bit. Could be 9 more laps. Could be 10 more laps. If it's 10 more laps, then I do need to save fuel. If it's only 9, then I don't. That Porsche left it to the last moment to pull to the right hand side there. be ideal is for the leader to catch up and lap the Porsche behind us, but for us to stay on the lead lap. That would put a lap between us and the car behind, and would give us a lot of freedom to save fuel on the final lap if we needed to. 10 minutes remaining. GT3 Fry spun off. Lost a bit of time there, but we would have saved quite a bit of energy. Yeah, 2 laps sub 3 on the energy. But we have lost a bit of our gap from that. Even more of it there. Leader doesn't seem like they're really catching us. Nor the car behind us, for that matter. Have more energy than the car behind, just by a little bit. That does mean if we were to fall into strife, so would the car behind us. Front is really cutting it fine. I'm not sure they'll actually make it. I think we need to save a little bit. I don't think we can push full flat out. Shifting down to first was not a good idea there. Push behind's been losing time. I think it's been getting stuck in traffic. The Peugeot in front of us will need to take a trim through pit lane. I don't know if we will come out in front of them or not. Not a big fan of what that Corvette did, but it worked, I guess. Yep, we're past the Peugeot. I do need to save. Not because of energy, but because of fuel. I'll turn the hybrid up next lap. That will help save a little bit of fuel. In fact, turn it on now. Time has run out, but the leader has dropped back behind us. So we will have, with the leader still yet to cross the line, we'll have one more lap. We will just have enough fuel. P4. P4 I think is the best we could have got, even if we weren't taken out on lap 1. I think... That, honestly, one of the most, if not the most intense race I've ever done. For my game crashing literally a minute before qualifying started. Oh my god. I feel like I was thinking to myself, if we weren't spun round on lap 1, I might have been able to have beat the Peugeot. But they got the strategy wrong and we beat them anyway. Oh, I'm knackered. Oh. Yeah, wow. Crazy race that. We did do 64 laps in the end. So the race was a bit slower than I thought it would be. My game didn't even save the replay from practice because of it crashing. I want to see what happened here at lap 1. Oh, this game takes forever to load. So got a good start. Porsche tried to hang around the outside. We got about run around the outside for the second part and then slot back into line. Ooh, bit of a bang in front. And I kind of knew, right, these two are going to compromise each other. The Peugeot kind of pushed the Ferrari into thing, and then Ferrari locked their brakes. Their rear brakes. Yeah, I should have put the car in reverse here. But I needed to put, if I was going to put the car into reverse, I needed to do it, like, straight away. Yeah, so the Ferrari tried to race into this corner, forgetting you're still on slightly cool tires. You're on a full tank of fuel. Yeah, just lock the rears and bonk. Then the rear came and slapped me around. They carried on. I suffered the consequence. This is the time I need to go into reverse. Back the car up a bit. And then carried on sort of as the GT3s were going. But at this point, there's no point. Because by the time I'd reverse and get into first gear and going again, the field would be past me anyway. So I was like, I might as well just keep the car in first. But yeah, then had to go through the entire GT3 field. Yeah, but I think we got through cleanly, no instance. So yeah, I'm not even on the right thing. Yeah, that was a crazy race from my perspective. So yeah, let us load up Art of Rally as per usual. Why? Hang on. That. My thing crashing changed the audio device. Yeah, I think that crash I had from the game was a slightly wider PC issue. I'm not sure what exactly. If you're wondering, I opened Fanalab, and that's when it kind of was like, nope. The game crashed. There were a couple of windows that moved around. The stream itself crashed. And yeah, OBS was throwing a hissy fit. But I mean, I didn't have to restart my PC, so it's not big. So yeah, online events. Let us do the daily event. We'll do the weekly event tomorrow. When did we last do this? It was on Monday. And we can't see back to Monday, unfortunately. What have we got? Group Race Sardinia. 5.9 kilometer stage here in the sunset. little bits of elevation make this time bit a little tricky, because it's a bit difficult to see the elevation, so you don't know when you're going to hit a bump. Not too far from the finish. There it is, 240.3. Puts us 24th, top 5%, that's not bad. I will take that in. I'll take that. I'll take that indeed. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's stream. Yeah, it's been... No, let me change that. It's been fun, so it has been. Yeah, fun times. Very intense race. I want to relax a bit now. But yeah, enjoyable race. It's a shame about that one, but God, I mean, coming back, like, I think that's definitely a more interesting race. But yeah, very, very intense. But yeah, that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you all very much for watching along. Thank you, Geeky. Thank you, Kevin. Hope you all enjoyed that race. I'll be back tomorrow with the GT3 Festival. We are going to be at Spa, and it's going to be mixed conditions, bit of rain, so that should be some good fun. But yeah, until next time, thank you all very much for watching. Hopefully I will see you tomorrow. If not, have a good week. And yeah, until next time, thank you very much for watching. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.